Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is proof Kawhi Leonard may be coming back very soon. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, make sure you go ahead and check out Dreamerspro Max, an online sports community that we created, a place where you can go and start basketball discussions, chat live during games, and so many other cool things. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check that out. We have that linked in the description below. And also make sure you go ahead and click the join button to join the channel to receive loyalty badges from us. So let me get into this topic here. So man, these playoffs have been a roller coaster. Like there've been so many ebbs and flows, so many different these playoffs have been something I haven't experienced probably my entire life since I've been watching basketball. I've been watching basketball for quite some time, at least the last 15, 20 years. And I've never seen anything like this, right? Going into these playoffs, first of all, the Lakers, the defending champs, they get knocked out in round one, right? That was a shocker to some people. Definitely a lot of people didn't expect that, given the way that, they thought they were going to perform going into the playoffs. But obviously, the injury bug hit them. They didn't have Anthony Davis. They got knocked out in the first round. Then the Clippers, in their first round series against the Dallas Mavericks, which was full of drama, they end up going down 0-2 at home, going on the road, winning the next two games, and then ultimately that series went to 7 games, where the Clippers came back on their home court, where they got their first home win in the playoffs. So that was a pretty wacky series that they ended up winning in 7 games. Then you got Nikola Jokic, who got tossed in one of the games in the opening round. I think who did they play against? I think they lost. I think it was to the Portland Trailblazers, if I'm not mistaken. I remember that, right? I remember that. Then we moved on to round 2. And round 2 is what you call the upset round, right? There were so many upsets in round 2. First of all, you had the Hawks, who upsetted the Philadelphia 76ers. The drama surrounding Ben Simmons, the fact that all of a sudden somehow people of the Philadelphia 76ers fans just discovered that this guy couldn't shoot. He can't shoot free throws. He doesn't shoot free threes. This is something we've known about him for years now. So you had that meltdown with the Philadelphia 76ers. You had a lot of people looking at Doc Rivers, given the fact that, again, he blew another lead in the playoffs. So you had that kind of disaster there. Then you had the Brooklyn Nets, a team that a lot of people felt was going to win the championship, or at least make it to the championship round. But obviously injuries played them. James Harden was pretty much, he was a factor, but not really. He didn't play that much of a role. And they ended up losing a game that they could have probably won if Kevin Durant's toe wasn't on the 3-point line. So there was drama in that series. They ended up losing that series. Then you have the Clippers, who were before. This is even before Kawhi Leonard. This is before Kawhi Leonard went down. While they were playing, a lot of people picked the Utah Jazz to beat the Clippers. This is not a secret, right? People like Shannon Sharpe came out there and picked the Clippers to lose in 5. This was with Kawhi Leonard. And let me just quickly say this about Shannon Sharpe. I understand Shannon Sharpe's gripe with Skip Bayless yesterday, because he was like, wait a minute, let's hold KD to the same standard that you held LeBron James to, which is fine, right? They're going to go back and forth about that. And Shannon Sharpe made it a thing between him and Skip Bayless and about LeBron and KD. I get that. That's fine. That's that's his right to do that, because he's defending his favorite player. However, I didn't like some of the things that Shannon Sharpe had to say about the Clippers. I thought that he showed no contrition. He was wrong about the Clippers. He has been wrong about the Clippers all season, all playoffs long. He sat up there and said that the Clippers are going to lose in 5. That didn't happen. Then he said they were going to lose in 6. That didn't happen. He said they were definitely going to lose once they lost Kawhi Leonard. None of that happened. And then for him to nitpick on Paul George in a Game 6 comeback, it's like, first of all, you have no right to talk. You were wrong from the onset. You have no right to criticize what happened in that game. You know why? Because you picked them to lose. And for you to sit up there and start criticizing Paul PG, I thought that was pretty low, man. I thought that was pretty low, and I thought that was pretty lame. So I wanted to say that he was, Paul George get 10 and did this and that, but they won. How about we discuss the fact that you felt that they were losing 5 and that they won? And he said, like, when they went to Utah, they would like, so I thought that was a pretty low moment in the playoffs for Shannon Sharpe, given the fact that Clippers ultimately ended up winning that series. So the Clippers have been without their best player now, Kawhi Leonard, for about a week or so, because we all know he had that high ankle sprain in Game 4. I mean, that knee sprain, ACL sprain, or whatever you want to call it, in Game 4. And to me, I was just like, first of all, I was so depressed because I'm like, this is my favorite player. But then it's like, what else can happen? I also forgot to mention Chris Paul. But just to talk about these wacky playoffs, Chris Paul missed Game 1 with the Clippers, Game 1 versus the Suns, because of COVID protocols, and now he's going to miss Game 2 because he's still observing COVID protocols. So there's so many wacky things happening in the playoffs this year. So Kawhi Leonard has been out since Game 4, and I think he's effectively been out for about a week now. He hasn't played a basketball game for what seems like a week. Now, I had this feeling that Kawhi Leonard will come back because they haven't completely ruled him out. The Clippers have been they played everything close to the chest with this whole Kawhi Leonard news. But I got to give this video, I got to dedicate this video to a lot of our viewers, our members, some viewers out there. First of all, I want to dedicate this video to Tori. He's on Dreamerspro Max. He's been sending me some information and updates. He sent me a Reggie Jackson video hinting at the fact that Kawhi Leonard was coming back. We have another member on our channel, I forgot his name. He sent me a Twitter link yesterday talking about some other play. Chris Haynes mentioning the fact that Kawhi Leonard has been rehabilitating and there's a possible comeback for him there. So I want to give some credit to these guys because these guys have been keeping me in the loop, and some other people as well on the channel that have been feeding me some information. So I definitely want to give them their credit because they've been giving me some information regarding this news. I've been watching some of the post-practice comments from the coaches and the players, and they've been saying that Kawhi Leonard has been highly engaged with the team, FaceTiming them, going over plays, and I think some of the players have been hinting at a possible return for Kawhi Leonard because he seems actively engaged, and they keep saying things like he's working hard, working hard to get back and this and that. I'm like, interesting. So I think Kawhi Leonard is definitely going to make a return. But before I go too far, yesterday I was watching a show on ESPN. I forgot the name of the show, the host of the show. I can actually pull it up here for a second. And Brian Windhorst was on the show with them, and he gave some pretty solid information on the Rick Eason show. Rick Eason show. I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly. And Brian Windhorst talked about a possible return for Kawhi Leonard. So before I go too far, I want you guys to take a listen to this soundbite of Brian Windhorst talking about Kawhi Leonard's possible return in his communications with the Clippers. So before I go too far, take a listen to that there.
The Twitter sleuths are seeing Kawhi walking around without a limp and no brace and no anything on his knee, and that's led to the conversation that maybe it's the old bone bruise, partial ACL tear, which means he may not be out either for the rest of the playoffs. What are you hearing about that for the Clippers?
Well, a sprain, the definition of a sprain is a tear. So he has some sort of tear in his ACL. I probably have a tear in my ACL. We all have little tears, but I don't want to overreact that. But he definitely has a minor tear in his ACL, or I don't know, moderate or whatever. They elected not to tell us whether he had a grade 1, grade 2, or grade 3 sprain. James Harden came out after the Nets series ended and said, hey, I had a grade 2 hamstring strain, which means that's a 4 to 6 week injury normally. So that's what he was playing through. Kawhi, in talking to the Clippers, they are keeping their cards close to the vest, but they say they're optimistic that he will be able to return. Now, does that mean that in Game 6 of a final series? Does that mean in Game 6 of the conference finals? I don't even know if they know that. But I will say that typically when you have a knee sprain, it is an injury that is measured in weeks, not days. But this is the playoffs, and we'll see. Kawhi has been very cautious with injuries in his career, and that can't be discounted. But I think for the short term, the Clippers are going to probably have to do this without thinking Kawhi is going to be coming back.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.
Now, in that soundbite, Brian Windhorst discusses the fact that the Clippers are playing the Kawhi thing close to the chest. But listen, for sure, it's not an ACL tear is what we thought it was. I think it's a sprain. And it looks like he's rehabilitating himself. And he said that the Clippers are optimistic of a possible return, or if it's possible return in these playoffs. And that was Brian Windhorst talking. So this is an insider, and those are his thoughts on the matter. And I think this gives more validity to the idea of Kawhi Leonard possibly returning, because personally, I think he's going to return. I always felt this way. I thought that if he was going to make a return, it would be somewhere around game 3, game 4. Initially, I thought game 3, because remember, they're playing game 2 tonight, which is Tuesday. Game 3 will be on Thursday, and game 4 would be on Saturday. So depending on how the series goes over the next 3 games, I think that we could possibly see Kawhi Leonard return on game 4. For example, if the Clippers go down 0-2 to the Suns, then I think there will be some type of pressure on him to get back in game 3, because you don't want to risk going down 0-3, because if you go down 0-3, the series is pretty much over, right? So I think tonight's game is going to kind of tell a lot, but I think the Clippers are kind of aiming for game 4. Now, here's the best case scenario. Well, there are few scenarios. The best case scenario is this: they win game 2 and they win game 3, and that would buy him an additional day. That's one option. Another scenario is they lose game 2, they win game 3, he comes back game 4 to kind of ensure that they hold on to home court. So I definitely think it's going to come back, given the fact that these people are reporting on it. Hope is still alive. And listen, before Kawhi Leonard got injured, he was definitely one of the best players in the playoffs. I think it was him and Kevin Durant. He was certainly the best player in the Western Conference. I don't even think this is a question. And this flies in the face of a lot of the hyperbolic, things that people have been saying of the second coming of Karl Malone. Now the new one is Devin Booker's Kobe. Wow, Devin Booker became Kobe Bryant after one game. That's all it took, huh? Just one game. So Kawhi Leonard, no, he can't be. He can't be the next Kobe or LeBron or Jordan. They got to be. So I'm just like, yo, this media, man, pretty entertaining people. These playoffs, Kawhi Leonard is averaging in 11 games 30 points, 30.4 points per game. He's shooting 57.3% from the field. I think of players attempting close to 20 shots, I think he has the highest field goal percentage. This guy is not the second coming of Jordan or Kobe? Huh, interesting. He's shooting 39% from the three-point line, 88% from the free throw line. He was averaging 7.7 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 2.1 steals. And it's actually hilarious. And I was listening to what Magic Johnson had to say. And shout out to some of our viewers. They're the ones that sent me not the soundbite, but they gave me the information that Magic Johnson spoke about Kawhi Leonard on First Take. And he said, he was talking about the Clippers. And he said, listen, Kawhi Leonard doesn't get enough love in all of this. Like, he was playing amazingly. And you look at Stephen A. Smith with his hate and self. He had that look on his face. And it's like, they just don't want to give it up to him. And this is the reason why I hope he comes back. I pray Kawhi Leonard comes back, the Clippers win the championship, and he wins the finals MVP, and Stephen A. Smith interviews him. This is what I hope. Like, I just want to see Stephen A. Smith's face, right? And then I want to see Shannon Sharpe's face and all these other guys' faces. They've been, I remember I heard you, Jay Williams. I heard what you said after game 1, or was it game 2? I heard what you said on your show, Get Up, when you said, I think after the Utah Jazz were up at halftime, you were like, come on, Jazz, let's get it done. Jazz versus Suns. I heard you. I saw you. I heard what you said. I see what some of these people are saying. I think Skip Bayless is the only one. Skip Bayless and Marcellus Wiley, the only ones. Chris Broussard is just afraid to be wrong, so he doesn't want to pick the Clippers. I get it. But I really hope he comes back, and I think he will. Just to sit back and laugh, man. Just to sit back and laugh at people's reaction, because I've never seen this much. I don't even know if it's hate or just disdain or whatever it is, negative energy towards the Clippers. First, people hated on them. Now what they're trying to do is wish him away. Just like, don't even talk about them. Don't even talk about their best player. That when Kawhi was playing, I never heard any of this. What was the Michael Jordan comparison? But that's the media, man. That's all it took, huh? Took one game. Took one game. And Devin Booker turned into Kobe. One game. Wow. It must be really easy to become Kobe Bryant these days. What's the next one? If he has 2 games like that, he's Jordan. By the 3rd one, he's the GOAT. We got to stop with this, man. We got to stop with this. We got to stop with this. I think, given the fact that Kobe was, just tells you the world we're living in. Anyway, guys, so these are my thoughts. So what I want to know from you guys is this. First of all, do you think Kawhi Leonard is going to come back? Number 1. Number 2, if you have any information on any sources that kind of lend to this idea of him possibly coming back, post that in the comment section so people can, so you can share the information with some of us, because, you can enlighten all of us, because I think this information will help all of us. Whatever links, whatever sources you guys have that are credible, share them in the comment section, because I'm sure people want to know about it. But once again, thank you guys for your attention. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, we want to thank you guys for all of the birthday wishes that you gave us, to me and Marco and I. We appreciate that. Thank you guys again, and we appreciate your support. And we'll definitely catch you guys on the next episode.